Всем привет! Добро пожаловать на наш канал «Вернувшийся миссионер». Сегодня у нас в гостях замечательная пара, которая повлияла на историю церкви в России. Они сделали очень много, и они являются собой пример того, как делать миссионерскую работу. И эта пара, добро пожаловать сегодня к нам на подкаст Аимо и Нелли Якко. Welcome to our podcast. Thank you for coming and so on this podcast we talk about missionary work and how we as regular church members can do missionary work. And you are a great example of how to share the gospel with people, and you played such a big role in bringing the gospel to Russia or Soviet Union back then. And it would be so nice to get to know you a little bit more for those who don't know you, and for those who know you, they can, see you again and hear your story once again. So could you please introduce yourself a little bit and tell us how you joined the church and how you met each other? Okay, could you start with that?
I joined the church in 1962 in December. I met the missionaries when they knocked on my door, and I was one day sick. I didn't go to my work, and then missionaries came, and I said, yeah, I can come on Sunday. And I went to church, and I really liked it.
And where was it?
Rotterdam, in the Netherlands.
Netherlands, okay.
And so after 6 weeks, they asked if I wanted to be baptized, and I said, okay, but I have in the Netherlands you have to ask permission from your parents till you are 21 or 18.
Okay.
And I was 17 at that time. And so I asked my parents, and they were very much against it. They very much wanted to discourage me. My father even went with the Book of Mormon, which I had received from the missionaries, to bring it. He brought the Book of Mormon back, and he told the missionaries if they contact me that the police will come.
Okay.
So it was a very difficult situation. But I'm very stubborn. That was probably just what I needed.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if everything is very easy. It's easy to join the church, and it is nice and nice members. Then I needed that opposition that my parents didn't like it very much. And then I wanted to show. So I didn't go to church for 3 months, but I went to all other churches to show my parents I was really interested in this kind of thing. And then I asked my father, can I go to the church? And he said, you can do what you want. And so I went to the church, and then there was a baptism in December. That was 6 months after I had asked my parents. And I phoned them, and I said, there's a baptism in the church, can I be baptized? And my mother said, you can be baptized, but you will always be a Roman Catholic child for me.
Okay.
So then I was baptized December 23rd, 1962.
And so your parents weren't religious people, or were
No.
they?
My mother was Roman Catholic. In a Roman Catholic family she was brought up, but she had negative experiences in school, and also my father was a Lutheran, but not active. And my mother wanted to, for instance, to marry in the Roman Catholic Church, but because my father was Lutheran, she was not allowed. Also, she wanted to get me in hospital, Roman Catholic hospital, and they didn't allow it because my father was Lutheran. So she had very negative feelings about churches in general.
Okay.
And then, okay, so I went first to a Roman Catholic school for 3 years, and after that, I went to public school.
Okay.
So everybody, not religious, it was not religious. And I have had very good parents, but I've never seen them pray, for instance.
Yeah.
That didn't belong to our family life.
So they pretty much lived by Christian
yes, we
beliefs,
had.
but
Yeah,
didn't
my
go to
father
church.
was a good man, and he brought. He was not drinking or something like that, but we can speak about that a little bit later. Maybe when I start playing table tennis, my father always went with me to. When I had a tournament, he was very supportive.
Okay. What about Aimo?
No niin, minä puhun suomeksi.
Kyllä.
Olin perheessä, meitä oli minun lisäksi 2 veljeä, poikaa, Heikki ja Pentti, ja sitten oli tyttöjä, oli 4. Ja minä synnyin 1940 sota-aikana. Ja oli vähän puutetta ruuasta ja monesta muusta. Mutta meillä oli kuitenkin sitten oma talous. Oli oma lehmä, kanoja, lampaita. Ja sitten me jossain vaiheessa, kun olimme lapsia, niin isä valmisti kesämökin. Ja kun koulut loppui, niin menimme kaikki kesämökille saaressa. Ja se oli aika mielenkiintoista. Se on helpompi äitille, kun emme juokse kaupungilla.
Yeah.
Ja
oliko se Saimaan järvellä?
Saimaan järvellä Tuosan saaressa. Se oli vielä sellainen hauska tapaus, millä tavalla isä sai sen. Hän on huonokuuloinen niin kuin minä olen. Ja sitten hän meni Kaukaan, nykyisen UP10 toimistoon, ja kysyi, että voiko se Kaukaan saareen rakentaa kesämökin. Ja sanoi sitten tämä toimistovirkailija, että tulee viikon kuluttua uudestaan, niin sitten tietää. Sitten isä meni ja se ei ollut niin kuin myönteinen päätös, mutta kun hän sanoi, että Kaukaan maille ei voi rakentaa. Sitten isä kuuli, että voi rakentaa.
Okei. Ja rakensi vaan.
Ja niin isä sitten rakensi kesämökin siihen. Ja muutama myös vuosi myöhemmin sitten Kaukaan arkkitehti rakensi sinne saaren toiselle puolelle kesämökin. Ja hän sitten kertoi myöhemmin minulle tästä tapauksesta, että millä tavalla me saimme sen kesämökin. Mutta sitä ei tiedetty ennen kuin se oli ihan valmis se kesämökki ja ei ne sitten käskenyt purkamaan enää sitä. Siellä me monta vuotta kesää vietettiin. Ja vuonna 1957 lähetyssaarnaat veljeni Pentti liittyi Jeesuksen Kristuksen kirkkoon ensimmäisenä. Hän oli vähän urheilullinen ja oli yhden kirkon jäsenen kanssa juoksemassa ja sitten hän pyysi Penttiä tulemaan englannin tunnille. Ja Pentti tuli ja sitten jäi siinä NVK, nuorten valistuskerho, oli sen jälkeen. Jäi sinne ja sitten jonkun ajan kuluttua hän sitten liittyi kirkon jäseneksi. Ja samaan aikaan minä kävin rippikoulua. Se oli luterilaisen kirkon tapa, että nuoret käyvät rippikoulua.
Joo.
Ja sama aikaan sitten lähetyssaarnaat vierailivat meillä kotona. Ja tämä luterilaisen kirkon pappi opetti rippikoulussa nuorille ja sitten kotona meillä lähetyssaarnaat sitten opettivat. Ja sitten minun mielenkiinto heräsi, mitä pappi opetti ja mitä lähetyssaarnaat opetti.
Joo.
Ja sitten luin Joseph Smithin oman kertomuksen ja rukoilin ja sain niinku ymmärryksen ja vastauksen, että Joseph Smithin kokemus oli aito ja hyvä. Ja kävin kuitenkin rippikoulun läpi. Se kesti niin kuin puoli vuotta. Ja menin ripille. Kaikki nuorien piti käydä rippikoulu, jotta he voivat sitten solmia avioliiton.
Okei. Kirkossa?
Kirkossa. Se oli niin kuin sellainen pakko, että voi liittyä sitten. Mutta kun sain varmuuden, että Jeesuksen Kristuksen kirkko on mitä minä haluan, mihin minä haluan liittyä, niin sitten isäni, joka oli luterilainen myös, niin hän sitten kielsi, että ei lähetyssaarnaat enää voi meille tulla. Enkä voinut liittyä kirkkoon, koska olin 17-vuotias. Piti täyttää 18 vuotta ennen kuin voi toimia oman mielen mukaisesti. Ja sitten odotin puoli vuotta ja 18-vuotiaana sitten liityin kirkkoon.
Okay.
Minut kastettiin Saimaan järvessä.
No niin.
Se oli alku.
Hyvä alku. You have very similar stories. Like you were 17, both of you, and your parents were not excited about the church. And
his mother joined the church.
Later?
Yeah, his mother joined.
That's great.
Not my mother.
Oh, your mom didn't.
But my father was not so much against it. But my mother was very much.
Yeah.
My father is very much like Aimo, very peaceful. And I'm like my mom.
Yeah. Okay. So, but how did you meet each other? Could you share?
Okay, shall I tell because it's in English? Maybe.
Yeah.
You don't need to translate.
Yeah, maybe you can do that. Yeah.
Okay. I fulfilled a mission in the Netherlands from 1965 till 1967, and after my mission, we had a youth group, and we had a youth group, and we organized once a month dance. And Aimo was a building missionary, and he was in Denmark, but they needed somebody to finish the church in the Netherlands.
So could you please stop with this? What does it mean, building missionary? This is something for me very.
Okay, a building mission. Now you have normal missionaries, and in 1960s, in the beginning of 1960, the church was growing very much in Europe, and they asked boys to go on a mission. They were usually 16, 17 years old, and they went for 1 year.
Oh.
And they went on a building mission. So 16. They were building all these churches in Europe, like in Haga, and in Lahti, and in Turku, in Tampere, Joensuu. They were Lappeenranta. They were built about the same time, and they were built by
church members,
and the members went also to help. Wow. And on Saturday, but we had these building missionaries, so they went for 1 year to an
2
years.
Oh, it was 2 years. Okay,
wow.
Thank you.
And you were like 18.
He was 18. He was one of the first.
Okay,
ones.
yeah. So when he joined the church, he went.
Yeah, he went on a building mission.
Wow.
And then
did it count as a regular mission? Or
No. But in the morning they had a building supervisor, and he was usually an American. And they had these study groups in the morning where I think they read the church history, so that their English become stronger. And I know we had 2 boys from our ward in Rotterdam. They went to Finland. But Aimo was so good, so after 2 years, they asked, do you want to do 2 years more?
As a building mission?
As a building mission, because that was his profession.
Okay.
So he was a building mission. And then he built a church in Turku. And then the American went away, and they asked Aimo, he was 21, to be the building supervisor there.
Oh.
And then he started going to be paid.
Okay.
But the 4 years, he didn't get any payment. And they lived during that time in members' homes.
So you actually served 4 years, and you built churches.
Yes, but
7, 8 years.
Yeah, he was. But then
wow.
after then they put him in England also, and he learned his English there.
Okay.
And then they asked him to go to Copenhagen. He built a church in Denmark.
But so after 4 years, he started working for the church.
I think it was 8 years. And then he went to Pietarsaari, and there at that time we married in 1968.
But how did you meet? You skipped that part. How did
you asked me. The building mission. So now I will tell first about that.
Okay.
You can cut it. 1968, we were okay. Now I have to tell. So he was in Copenhagen, and then there was winter, and they couldn't finish the church there. But they needed somebody to work in Holland for the interior of one, just inside the church.
Okay.
And they asked Aimo to go there in Utrecht. And at that time, I just was 3 months released from my mission.
Okay, that's what
we had these dance evenings, so we met. So we met, and I thought, now I found somebody I like.
Okay.
And then, he's going after 2 weeks again to Denmark. And then he went back to Denmark, and then we started to write. And then Aimo invited me to come to Finland. And that was in May. And then in June, we had youth conference, and then we were engaged. And in 1968, the church started in Pietarsaari he was a building supervisor there.
Yeah.
And then we married.
In Pietarsaari?
We married in Where did we? Lappeenranta. Then we went to Holland, and we had a reception there, and then we went to the London temple.
Oh wow, to be sealed. Was it the closest temple back then? London?
No,
Switzerland.
I think Switzerland, but we went to England. But we went to England because Aimo had been a building missionary in England.
Oh wow!
And we went to the temple for the marriage, and there we met the person where Aimo, in his house, he has lived for 8 months. Brother, I don't remember his name.
Lothar.
Okay, Lothar. Okay.
Lothar. Okay.
So that's our story, how we met.
Wow. So a lot of traveling, a lot of serving. It's such a great beginning for your family. You already started your family by serving in the church, serving other people, building buildings, church buildings.
I think it's very difficult, people from two cultures, to be married together. You are not married only your husband, but you marry also his family, and that can become that can give a lot of problems in a marriage. But
Pressure.
because we were both members of the church, both active, and if we had a problem, we said always, now what does President McKay, that was at that time, President McKay says. And so many problems were solved. You know, we didn't have many problems. Because we are now married 55 years.
Wow, 55 years.
And I meet sometimes Dutch persons who have been married to Finnish people, and most of them are divorced.
That's sad. So you have a word of counsel for them. You know, not just get married, but join the church. And
No, maybe. But even it's difficult from somebody from Rovaniemi and Helsinki, because you have so much difference in culture.
We actually have been very interested in this phenomenon where people from different cultures, from different countries get married. And then the only thing they have in common is religion and the church. And it holds them so... their marriage is so strong because of that. Because all their differences are not as important. And they learn how to appreciate strengths and weaknesses of each other and try to, be like Christ-like to each other. And it helps build strong
and I think
marriages.
I think also it's good that you're not living in the same street or in the same city as your mom and dad, because you have to solve the problems together and not with that third person. Yeah. Sometimes it helps. Everybody is different.
Okay. Did you live far away from your parents, both of them?
No, I lived. My parents lived in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
No, his parents lived in Lappeenranta.
Kun menimme naimisiin, niin sitten meillä on useampi paikka, mutta missä ensimmäiset lapset syntyi, niin oli Taipalsaari, close to Lappeenranta. Ja sitten me sieltä muutettiin Savitaapaleelle Kaulion kylään, missä aloin valmistaa sitten kangaspuita ja käsityötarvikkeita.
So to that place where you lived, right?
In the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
And when we came there, the people said, this lady from the town Rotterdam, she will be here 1 year, and we were there 40 years, because I really liked to live there in the middle of the woods. We lived there 40 years in the same place.
Did you sell it already?
Yes, we sold it.
Oh, It was a nice place. I remember visiting you there.
And it was cheap, but we had to do so many things there.
Yeah,
a
a lot
new
of work.
roof, and Aimo was 80, and the problem was that also when we are getting sick, the
That's far away.
ambulance will take 1 hour. No, then we are dead already. So
Lapset, Reina, vanhin tyttö Reina ja Esko, niin he tulivat meidän kanssa katsomaan asuntoa Lahdesta. Ja me ostettiin viikon kuluessa sitten se asunto. Kun Neli tykkäsi sitä kovasti, että hän pääsi puhumaan saksaa myyjän kanssa, jonka äiti on saksalainen.
Okay. Yeah. So how many languages do you know?
No, Finnish, Dutch, English, German.
4 languages.
Fluently.
Wow.
And then I had in school French for 7 years, but I don't count that because I can't have, that was so long time ago.
Yeah, okay.
But if you don't speak anything but French, I will speak French to you. And then a little bit of Russian.
Talking about Russian, how did you, you lived in the woods and peacefully, you had your kids. How did you end up, meeting Russian people and bringing the gospel to them? How did you start doing that?
Now, Aimo's brother-in-law likes canoeing. And he asked us in 1989 was the first time that the people from Viborg could come to Finland. Earlier, they would meet Finnish people in between. There is a 30 kilometers, you know that, border, nobody's land.
Yeah.
And there is a place there.
Simon Canal.
Yeah, and there's a place in the middle where the people from Finland, and they had, for instance, the table tennis.
And volleyball.
And volleyball
well.
and table tennis, they played against
each
the
other.
Finnish people there. And this was the first time that a group of people could come from Viborg to Lappeenranta in 1989.
Oh, it was actually the first time when
that was the first time. So, and of course, we said, no, we are interested in that because we wanted also to help his brother-in-law because he organized that.
Yeah. And
then we were there, and then first the Russian people came to Lappeenranta. No, we went first to Viborg, and there we met Lena.
Galina.
Smirnova. No, it was Lena Stepanova.
Stepanova?
Lena Stepanova. It was Veli Kolovin's wife. It's Lena Stepanova, but she had not his name. She had It's, I think, Lena Stepanova. And she was walking there with Kolja and Katja, and she asked me, do you speak English? And I said, of course, I speak English. And we became friends. And they liked us because usually when the Finnish and the Russian people meet, then the Russian people know that all the Finns like vodka. And we were not interested in that at all. So they were wondering why and then they were wondering that we were with our family there, with teenage children there. We had our children with us. And then they were wondering also that we all spoke English. And then we became friends, and then Lena invited us. She was in a factory, and they had canoes in the factory, and you could get these canoes.
Okay.
And then she said, we have these canoe trips in Karelia. Are you willing, with our family, they wanted to have our family to go on a canoe trip with us for 4 days. I said, yeah.
You mean Karelia to Russia? Going to
in
Soviet
Russia,
Union?
a canoe trip in Russia.
Ah, okay.
So they gave us a visa. You know, we had a visa. And then we went on a canoe trip.
Okay.
And there was Andrei. They had taken a doctor for when there was happening something funny. And there was Lena's family. There was that family is not, it's Sergei and, no, I don't remember, but they had 2 little girls. And there was Genya. Do you know Genya and his wife? They're small people. They are our size. Genya. Kuzmin were there with their little boys.
Okay.
And then there was, we had 4 or 5 canoes. And we didn't speak anything about the church. But on Sunday morning, Aimo said, asked Aimo, do you want to fish? Aimo said he usually doesn't fish on Sunday, but he can come and look. So, and then Andrei asked about the church.
It's like, why you don't fish on Sunday? Yeah.
Why? And he was wondering about chastity, the children, you know, how we raised the children.
Okay.
And we had all the children with us, and they were in their teenage years, and why the children are interested with their parents, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Aimo spoke with him about the church. And then we started to invite Andrei and his brother and their wives in our home. Because the only way the Russian people could come to Finland when they had an invitation. From a family.
Okay, yeah.
But that's why we were so popular, because they wanted all to come to Finland, and we invited them all, but separately. So Andrei came with his Pavel brother and their families. No, and then usually we looked what they were interested in. For instance, Andrei was a doctor. So we lined him up with doctors we knew, Pekka so. And then we made for him, an appointment in the hospital in Lappeenranta, so that he could see how a Finnish hospital is.
Okay.
So he was there for 2 days. And that was the night we asked the missionaries, can Andrei stay with you? And they had to ask permission from President Wickham. And and then that was Saturday. And on Sunday, they went with us to church.
Okay.
And after the church, we ate together in the church, and we brought them back to the railway station. And this we did with all the families. His brother-in-law was working in the university as for all the machines. So we had a lot in the beginning, engineers coming in the church, and we tried to get them involved with the technical high school, so that they could see how the technical high school worked. On Saturday and Sunday, they come with us to church, and they really liked the church because there was a sport hall in Lappeenranta, and it was so different from the Greek Orthodox churches.
Yeah,
you know, the difference with the icons, and our church had a kitchen, and also they played basketball thing, and they really liked that, the practical things in the church. So when we started the church also in the beginning, and that was a difference maybe with other cities, we had these young families, and your parents were there also.
Yeah.
But they came later. They came in 1991.
Yes.
And we gave that lesson, Aimo and me, about marriage, and all these young couples came there. And most of these couples, you know, they have raised their children in the church, and you are an example, have been on missions, and have key positions now in the church.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking too much.
No, please do. I mean, this story is incredible because I invited Bert Dover. We met in the temple just recently.
Yeah. He was the first companion of Brother Webster.
I didn't know him. The only missionary I knew from those times was Elder Webster because I met him personally.
But it was his companion. But it was before your parents joined your church.
Yeah.
And he was the one who spoke with Andre before he was baptized in the chapel. And we were with our children Friday night in the church, and he spoke about 2 hours, and it was 11:30 already at night, and we had to stop them. We are going home because, we had Petronella, and I think she was 7-8 years old. But they were discussing.
They were excited to talk about the gospel. Andre had a lot of questions probably.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you actually, it was you who found them, not missionaries.
No.
You did, what church members are supposed to do, find people, and then missionaries teach people, which is amazing.
But also, I was not a Finn, because I am Dutch, and I don't have, when we become members in the church, we all have our own load of problems.
Yeah.
When you're Roman Catholic, you are still a little bit Roman Catholic, and when you bring that all and you become members. And I didn't have the war with Russia. I was excited. It's open, and I had not this prejudice towards Russian, which usually Finnish people have.
What about Aimo? Let's hear his side of the story. Did you have any prejudice towards Russian people, and how did you handle that? Was it hard for you?
It was interesting when we went to Russia. Ehkä se auttoi, kun olin nuori ja vähän ulospäin suuntautuva. Niin myös minun harrastus oli melonta, canoeing.
Okay.
You don't understand what he is asking. Did you have any prejudice? Did you like Russian people before this?
Ja meillä ei ollut keskustelua venäläisten kanssa, että ei osannut oikein omaa mielipidettä sanoa. Muuta kuin mitä oli kuullut, että oli ihmiset muuttanut pois Venäjältä. Mutta kirkko jo silloin nuorena auttoi ymmärtämään, että kaikki olemme samanarvoisia. Niin suomalaiset, venäläiset, ruotsalaiset. Ja meillä ei ollut mitään ennakkoluuloja mennä Venäjälle.
Niin, koska on kirkko jäsen, että me olemme kaikki veljet ja sisaret. Mut minä muistan. Okay, we are all brothers and sisters in the church. And when you become members of the church, then you are not anymore Russians or Dutch or Germans or whatever, but you're all members of
Christ.
Of Christ, children of our Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
But I remember that.
Just a second. Let's move a little bit to the side so it doesn't cover your face.
Okay.
Yeah, like this.
Okay, but I remember I'm a very outgoing person, and that when I start investigating the church, I was playing for the Netherlands in the Netherlands team table tennis.
National team.
Yeah, national team.
Wow.
Yes, for 5 years. So when I joined the church, I got a feeling it's not good to play on Sunday. And that took me also 1 year at least to quit that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I became member. Then I became baptized. I think because I made that sacrifice, my Heavenly Father softened my parents' heart so that I could be baptized. But I remember somebody told me that when I was 15 years old, I had a place in the national team already for women. But they didn't want to take me. Do you know why? Because I was always speaking to everybody. It was so interesting to speak.
About the church, you mean?
No, not about the church. It was, I wanted to practice my languages. So I had friends in the Czechoslovakian team and in the Yugoslavian team. And the Russian team was a little bit difficult because they had always that lady from, I think she was from the KGB.
KGB. You can talk to Russian.
Yeah. But I was... And I thought we have to be friends in the whole world, So
it helped that you are both of you are outgoing and you like to make friends with other people.
That helped me. Everything. I think that everything which you learn to do before you become a member of the church and try to do missionary work, you can use in your life.
Yeah.
Some other people, they make nice cakes, and my cakes are always a catastrophic things, or I can't make socks. This is for other people.
Yeah.
But
you play table tennis.
Yeah, but that's different from making a cake.
No, but it's interesting that as you said, you can do different things. You have different talents.
We have different talents.
And use it for missionary work,
yes,
right?
we can all use it for missionary work.
Yeah.
My coach, in 1956, the Russian people, you had the revolution in Hungarian, and the Hungarian coach fled to Holland. And at that time, the Hungarians were the best in Europe. And he saw me, I was 13, and he said, play every day, and he made that program, and his wife was world champion, so I played always with her the doubles. But and then in 1960, I went to Zagreb. That's also a communistic country. It's always all these things that helped me later.
Yeah. So you are a world champion.
No, I'm not world champion. I was good in the Netherlands.
Okay.
But the Netherlands were not the best in Europe. The Hungarians were.
Ja Suomen mestari.
So you're Finnish champion.
Yeah, ladies.
Okay.
14, and there were 2 ladies. I caught cold. There were 2 ladies over 75, and I won.
But you have this story how you told me this. Could you please say it one more time? Yeah, how you played table tennis with the border guard and
okay, that might be funny for the Russian people. So in the morning we went almost every weekend. We went to Viborg to help them in the branch, and then that is in the beginning. It was in 1990, in the beginning of 1990. We had 1 Book of Mormon. You could take 2 Book of Mormons with you. So we had 2
personal copies, right?
Yeah, and there was a tournament in Viborg. I played in Viborg because then I got these sport visas. I could easily come into Russia. So I had these 2 Book of Mormons with me in the morning, because we were planning to sleep somewhere in Viborg, and then Sunday morning was the meeting. And we came at the border, and they went a little bit through my luggage, and they found the Book of Mormon. They said, "What is that?" So,
and you had like a box, a full box?
No. I had only 2.
Only 2, okay.
The churches always, they don't do anything which is not allowed.
Yeah, of course.
We were allowed to have 2 Book of Mormons.
Yeah.
And so I gave that to, I gave it to he said, "What is it?" I said, "It's Book of Mormon." And then I said, "You can have it." And he said, "He's not allowed to."
Yeah.
He said, what are you going to do?" And I said, I'm going to play table tennis. And I was about 45, and they looked table tennis. and then later, when we came back, he said, and then they had closed the border. They had set up a table, and they had found the best soldier there, who was the champion there. So he wanted me to play with him. Now, he asked me first, did you win? I said, yes. But then I played with him. And then people tourists, they go to Viborg, they buy on the marketplace these caps from the army. And they can take them, but the Kong cards you can take.
Yeah.
So he had his full of Kong cards. How do you call it? Kong card. And then he gave me, because I won him, prize, a Kong card.
Okay.
I thought, now is the time to give him the Book of Mormon. And he accepted it. So.
Okay.
And I heard from Brother Webster that it was a book which was given by Ezra Taft Benson, who was the president of the church at that time.
That book?
That book.
Oh, wow. With the signature?
Yes.
Wow, interesting.
So, and now every time when we went later, they know me as the ping pong lady.
Okay. The best player of ping pong.